observed that a lot of studies has been examined on the relationship between tourism and economic growth after the very first similar study for the case of Greece. However, few studies have considered the covariates, which was explored in the current study. And what is our contribution to the existing literature in terms of the tourism-led growth hypothesis, which is studied of how tourism is seen as a catalyst for economic growth. We extended the study of Katiloglu 2018, among other several studies, by augmenting the conventional tourism-led growth hypothesis with the inclusion of key variables like foreign direct investment and domestic credit to see how this variable plays in a multivariate framework. Several other studies available in the literature with very few documentation for the selected Mediterranean country used in our study. So we augmented the literature by addition of the already mentioned variables I added. And another contribution, we used a more recent state-of-the-art econometrics procedure. So in that sense, it means beyond scope of study, we also advance the literature in terms of method. We see that this study validates the tourism-led growth hypothesis among the sampled region, the sampled countries, in both the long run and the short run. Tourism is a key indicator for the growth of the selected sample. Furthermore, we also established that alternatively, foreign direct investment attraction, it's also a very viable indicator or pointer to economic growth for the sampled countries in both the long run and short run. However, domestic credit was seen as a deterrent to economic growth in both the long run and short run. This is interesting. By causality means we try to check the predictability ability or power of each of the outlined variables in this study on each other. And we used the very recent one of Dimitrescu and Hall in 2012, which validated the one-way causal flow from FDI to economic growth.
Have you ever wondered how to measure tourism carrying capacity? Probably you have, because one option, you're super convinced that sustainability is the way forward when developing tourism, or because in your destination there might be some sort of tension already with residents or with the environment and tourism development. Anyway, hopefully it's not the latter. You've gone into the literature to search for answers on how to measure tourism carrying capacity, and you found that there's quite a lot of literature talking about a closed place where very well defined entry points and very well defined exit points. So if that's the case, there's certain methodologies that can help you in that direction. But how do we measure tourism carrying capacity in inhabited tourism destinations where there's population, there's visitors, there's any kind of mobility that is allowed, and there are no defined entry points and exit points? So we invite you to read a paper that my colleagues, Asunción Fernández Villarán, Marina Abad, Ana Goiti, and myself, Nagore Espinosa, have published in the Portuguese Economic Journal. Thank you, by the way. And the article is called Model for Measuring Tourism Carrying Capacity in Inhabited Tourism Destinations. We invite you to read it because there you can have a management tool that allows you to measure it and have alerts on areas that you have to act on to mitigate perhaps impact or stop from having further impacts, or areas where there's no alerts. Hope it is of your interest.
In our case, we are going to apply a regional approach because we count on some input-output tables from the regions of Spain, and we are going to compare what are the computing bias in comparison with the country analysis. And after that, we are going to decompose this procedure into 3 steps in order to identify what are the main pieces leading this computation output. In particular, we focus on 3 main destinations in the country, in tourist terms: Barcelona, Mallorca, and Alicante. You know, Spain is the 2nd destination in the world, so Barcelona is a very important destination, and Mallorca, and we use Alicante as a benchmark. We employ the regional approach because we think that the more focused is your input-output table to the region you are trying to measure, the better will be your impact analysis. So we take advantage of this regional framework input-output table that the Autonomous University of Madrid has developed for the whole Spain. In fact, we can summarize at this point saying that what is most important from these 2 pieces? We wonder if the most important is the structure of the relationship inside the input-output table for all the industries or sectors in the economy, or the initial expenditure structure of the expenditure by visitors. We can see that the most important is, in this case, is the effect of the structure of the input-output itself. So it recommends, in line with our approach, that you refine or choose the most fit input-output table to that territory you want to analyze for the impact analysis. In this case, regions, better than the country table. Final slide is asking about what are the most important points in this network structure of the input-output table. Is because Barcelona or Catalonia or Mallorca are territories acting like hubs. They are attracting a lot of interrelationship among the tourist sector, or acting like authority. So they are pushing this kind of effect. In this case, we see that both selected destination act like hub or authority, but mostly the hub impact seems to be the most important.
Hi, my name is Carlos Daniel Santos and I'm an Associate Professor of Marketing at Nova School of Business and Economics here in Lisbon. So today I want to talk about a paper I just got published in the Portuguese Economic Journal called Online Word of Mouth and Market Structure. So what is this paper about? If you look at recent trends, tourism has been growing very strongly everywhere, and in particular, tourists are changing their habits, the way they buy and book their holiday destinations. They are using digital and online platforms. Hotel managers are very concerned with their digital presence, and they're very concerned with the management of their ratings, because their ratings are a signal of the quality of the hotel, so they think. So in this paper, what I'm trying to say is, how much are these ratings worth? How much is an increase in ratings worth for the hotel? So why is data for the hotels in Porto, a city located in the north of Portugal? And what I find is that an increase of a half a star in a 1 to 5 star classification is associated with a doubling of your demand. So that means that a very strong effect or association between ratings and demand for your hotel. Not only that, I also find a very interesting fact, which is that ratings are more important for hotels with less stars. What does that mean? If you are a 3-star hotel, then you're more concerned with managing your ratings, because this allows you, an increase in your ratings allows you to increase demand by more than if you are a 5-star hotel. And that's a signal of quality. If you're a 5-star hotel, you already have a strong signal of the quality of your hotel, whereas if you're a 3-star hotel and people don't know, tourists don't know about your hotel, then these ratings will be an important source of information. I hope you enjoy reading my paper.